This is a video response to Atheist Paladin on his take whether the mosque should be built on ground zero, and I would just like to comment on a few things. First off, it's common to blame Islam for 9/11, but is that really justified? Al-Qaeda has some real-world gripes, and before Al-Qaeda, before radical Islam, which is relatively new, well, it's not new, but it really became popular in the 80s. Before that, there was communism and Arab nationalism, and many terrorist groups, including Palestinian terrorist groups, were communist. So it's not religion that causes these things. It's the fact that religious people do everything in the name of religion. So when they eat in the name of religion. That doesn't mean religion is causing them to eat. They just kind of attach religious meaning to everything. So same with Al-Qaeda and 9/11. It's not the Islam that caused 9/11. It's these people's worldview, which they kind of married with Islam because they're religious, and religious people see everything through a religious lens. Now, one reason why people think it's Islam is because they see Muslims as a homogeneous other group. It's always those other people need to do this, those other people. But the other reason is that media and politicians don't really want to talk about some of the gripes that Al-Qaeda has with us, including our support for Israel. So they either blame it on religion, or they say something like they hate us because of our freedom, or nonsense like that. But the cause of terrorism is more complicated than religion. Religion is not the cause. Religion is just a adjunct to terrorism because of people's need to justify their own action through what they perceive to be right, and in this case they perceive religion to be a source of morality. That's not to say that religion is cause of terrorism or their immorality, but they will find justification, and if they weren't Muslims, they might be communists or social Darwinists or what have you. The other thing is the problem what people have with this mosque is the symbolism, and the fact that it's going to open on the anniversary. They see as more proof of Muslims trying to laugh in our faces. But that's the narrative that's handed down on us. The fact that there'll be a mosque open near ground zero on 9/11, I think, is better symbolism of anti-terrorism, of saying, screw you terrorists, we American Muslims, we gonna laugh in your faces. But a problem with that is that people such as yourself, Atheist Paladin, and many others, they don't see Muslims as American. They see them as somehow guests. In fact, this is more true in Europe than the United States, but there's an understanding that if you come to United States, you're supposed to throw away your turban and put on a cowboy hat and start watching baseball, which is nonsense. Turban belongs in the United States just as much as cowboy hat does, just as much as sombrero does. So Muslims are not guests here, and as citizens, they have a right, to build religious buildings in a place where we as Americans were attacked, because they are Americans. Um, and that's my take on it. Fact is, Muslims are not guests. They are here to live. They're Americans, and they get to build their houses of worship, and we don't have to give them permission, just like we don't have to ask permission from them. We are all equal, supposedly, and we were not attacked because of Islam, and using Islam to blame terrorism not only helps people in the United States that like to put it in such a worldview, but it also helps terrorists. That that's how terrorists see it, and that's not how we should see it. This shouldn't be a battle between Islam and United States. It really should be a battle between good and evil, between justice and injustice. So with that, I like to say, well, thank you for listening.